carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber. G'day everyone, it's Turbo Tristan here, and today we are getting started on a race car build for my Civic. Now this is something that I've been interested in for a long time, turning my car into a race car. It's not very practical on the street. And as you've seen in my last few videos, one thing you really need to do for a race car is make it light and get the power to weight ratio as best as possible. And to do that, we have Charlie here. Charlie is from PiyesaHub, which is a business that sells all the carbon gear, plus all the exhaust gear for mostly Hondas at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Obviously, coming from a Honda background, our focus was, we'll start with what we know, although we are starting to move into 86 market and a little bit of Evos and Silvias.
What are we going to do today, Charlie?
First off, we're going to start on, as you say, your race car. We'll change the bonnet and fenders and put a carbon lip on. I'm sure later in the year we'll come back with the doors and the boot.
Man, I was going to say I'm going to have to turn the whole car into carbon, but I'll be getting it all from PiyesaHub. And we've got some other cars going to turn up today and try on some parts as well. So I'm really excited. I've never had a carbon fiber bonnet or any parts like that on my car. I've mucked around with it a little bit, and it is by far, I think, the best looking thing that you can put on your car, and it saves a ton of weight, which is what we want. And we want to get the weight, especially to start with, we want to get the weight off the nose because we want the car as light as possible in the front to help with the weight distribution, and also to help with braking and stuff at the track. So start off at the front, we'll work our way through, and hopefully we'll end up with a fully carbon fiber Civic one day. So Charlie's been giving me a hand. We have stripped the car. He brought down a whole ton of stuff. So basically the whole front end's going to be carbon, which I'm so G'd about. But we've taken the guards off, we've taken the bonnet off and the front bar because we are getting a carbon lip on the bottom. And that is all thanks to PiyesaHub. And here's all the old stuff that isn't going back on anymore except for the midsection of the bar. So what we're going to do is weigh all that stuff before we put it back on and see the differences. But check this out outside. And these literally weigh nothing. So I can't wait to get them on the car. It's literally like a piece of cardboard paper. Like, that's how light this is. Charlie's just ripped the cover off the amazing looking carbon hood, and we're going to get ready to put this on the car. But what we've got to do first, and I know you guys are going to blow up the comments if I don't do this, we're going to use the scales and we're going to weigh the difference between this hood and not my old hood because it's chopped up. We've got an OEM hood just behind the box there, which is fully intact. It's got everything on it, so we'll weigh the differences between the two. I'm sure it's going to be quite significant. And then we'll start fitting it all up. We'll do the same with the guards, and that way you guys will know how much weight you're saving. Put Charlie to work. He's on the scales there, including the factory bonnet. It's at 90.9 kilos. And now we'll swap over to the PiyesaHub carbon OEM style hood, and we'll see what the difference is. All right, here he is with the carbon hood, and he is down to 84.4. So quick maths, that's like 6.5 kilos lighter. Is that right? I'll put it down here on the screen. We work on cars, we're not geniuses. So big difference though, 90.9 and 84.4, huge. You can tell just by picking it up, it's crazy different. One thing to note about this carbon fiber bonnet is it is actually real carbon fiber. That is one layer of carbon fiber here. If you look at other carbon fiber hoods on the market, they're going to be, you won't see any carbon here. It's going to be all fiberglass matting and weaving. It's really just looks like carbon fiber, whereas this one is actual carbon fiber. And we managed to save over 6 kilos here, and even with all of the webbing in here. So it's got all the factory OEM webbing, which is for structural rigidity, which is exactly what you need. Being that these are so light, you don't want them flapping in the wind and blowing up or snapping or breaking off or just becoming flimsy. So this is as good and as strong as your OEM bonnet as far as warping and bending goes. All right, time for the guards now. Now these aren't full factory guards. I've actually cut out a bit of the lining and stuff in these for clearance for the tire, and they are just a thin sheet of tin. And now we have the carbon guard. Again, not mathematicians, but I'll put the exact difference up on the screen. A saving is a saving, and it looks a billion times better. So that's got to be for something as well. These are also reinforced as well. It's not the tiniest, thinnest slither of carbon. It is full carbon, a couple of layers, so it is nice and strong, just like your OE guard. Now it's time to stick them on. All right, so we've had Nan turn up with his EDEF Civic hatch. We're trying on a bonnet on that. I'll show you that more as we get. I've actually had to do the typical mods to anyone that's got a K24 in a Civic. Chop out the bit of the hood, which I've done that. I've taken out a lot less this time. Last time I just took out the whole section. This time I took out just what I needed to. But I went through just in the tiniest section, I just nicked it just there. And because the carbon is so thin and so perfect, just a little zip, went straight through. It's only about 2 or 3 millimeters through on the other side. It looks a lot bigger on this side, but just peeked through, so I'm going to fill that up with some resin and stuff later on. In the comments, sad face emoji equals one prayer for this brand new bonnet that I've just destroyed with the grinder. Bonnet's on, guards are on, and the front lip is on. It's just got this tape all over it because I've put a bit of sealant or Sikaflex in there, just holding it in place. This is an aftermarket front bar. It had an aftermarket lip on it. It's got another aftermarket carbon lip on it, so there's a little gap just there, but overall, fitment is pretty nice. I'm not sure if the guys are going to keep doing this lip or not yet, but we're going to see how it looks. I'll take all the tape off and finish off the video tomorrow so I can take the car outside and show you what it looks like. Totally carboned up, but it looks sick so far. The fitment on the guards is quite nice. Everything lines up. These are aftermarket headlights. Again on an aftermarket bar, and it still fits up really, really nice. But otherwise, everything else is good, and I'm very, very happy with it. I've got to stick the side skirts back on, and then this one is complete. Even fits the indicators straight back in the original spot. Let's go check out what the other guys are doing outside with. We've got an EDEF and we've got an Integra DC5, so let's check those out. All right, so we're just having a look at some EF9 parts and testing them out here on this beast. We've got it fully pulled apart, and it's the worst day for it because it's 1,000,000 degrees, but we're just testing out all these different front end swaps. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's check out this Mint DC5. Damn, skunk intake, group M intake, elusive intake, it's all, everything, all the parts.
Skunk 2 headers.
Skunk 2 headers over the back. Now this is a facelift model, but we're trying on some carbon parts, so carbon bonnet and maybe guards. I'm not sure what we've got in store, but what a clean car. I actually see this car cruising around all the time in Springy. Needs some more T7 parts on here from spool up, then it'll be even more mint. Just trying on the carbon bonnet, and this one fits immaculately as well. What's this one called? The EF9?
EF9.
EF9 style bonnet. So I believe that's what, SIR CRX?
Yep.
Premium. So yeah, the guys at PiyesaHub, this bloke, Charlie, has got them all. So we're gonna fit this one up, put this whole car back together because Nan's basically pull his whole car apart here. And then we're going to move over to the EG and play with that as well. Many of you OG fans will notice and recognize this EG5 Civic hatchback, which actually belongs to a friend of mine, Tommy, and also my brother-in-law as a joint project, Ty. So this is Ty and Tommy's Type R swapped EG5. Now it's got all of the bolt-ons, everything possible is done to it. In its first ever outing, Ty put it into the wall, and I put a new bumper on it, new guard, new door, new mirror, painted up the quarter, Painted the whole side of the car, and it took me forever to track down a bonnet for one of these. As you guys know, EG parts are getting pretty hard to find. I managed to grab one. This is off a sedan at the wreckers, and I was gonna get around to painting it. Never really happened, so thanks so much to Charlie and the guys at PiyesaHub, because now we're getting a carbon bonnet ready for the racetrack. I'm just missing the corner light, and everything else is ready to go. For those of you that don't remember, this is a DC5R, full driveline, gearbox, engine, everything with an Elusive Racing intake, tuned by Elusive Racing with some Elusive Racing headers. Otherwise, it's got all your standard K-swap parts, plus all your suspension parts, hard race, everything, T and coilovers, the whole box and dice. Full DC2R hubs all the way around, control arms, all that sort of stuff. Basically a DC2R undercarriage with a DC5R driveline. Now let's get some juicy carbon on there. And the all-important weight savingness of the EG bonnets, 88.9. I'll put the math here in just a moment once we do the carbon bonnet and show the weight saving. And we have for the carbon bonnet 83.3. That one looks much lighter, mate, heaps lighter. All right, we're gonna slam this on and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. So in the last video, we showed you 3 different types of exhaust systems that they have at PiyesaHub. Here is the 4th one, which we missed out on seeing and hearing last video, but this one looks pretty awesome. It's got the full JDM style tip. You see this a lot on Skylines and Supras and cars that just have like a really nice sporty catback system. And it's that really like 90s JDM look. I really like that. It's a rolled tip. And yeah, just a really neat, clean look on that one. They call that the oval center thick. So it's the thick boy tip, this one. Just as a reminder, if you didn't catch the last video, we've got the spoon style pea shooter. And Charlie was actually telling me the pea shooter that comes factory in the OE style spoon ones is actually really small tip. They've made this one a little bit bigger and accentuated the trumpet style here. And just so you've got a bit bigger of a tip, that's a 2.5 inch tip, whereas the other ones are like 2 inch or smaller. And then we've got the lobster back cannon and the lobster tail big oval. So those are all on the PiyesaHub website. Check out the fitment on this. This one looks amazing. We've learned today that the facelift and pre-facelift have the same bonnet, thanks to Nan and his Honda expertise. We got Charlie back on the scales, and just quickly want to mention it's the same webbing design as the EK, so it's a true carbon skin with fiberglass reinforced webbing, and that weight of that one is 82.45. And now we're going to try the factory bonnet, and that one is 88.4. So what did I say before? 83.4. Almost 5 kilos difference, is that right? I'll put it up on the screen what the weight saving is. Again, we're not the smartest here, but the bonnets look smart. That's the main thing. Let's get this carbon one back on the car because it looks mint and fits like a glove. But the quality of this is very, very high. Everything comes with all the hardware all installed. These bonnets literally take 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute if you have a friend, to fit. Super easy. Just a couple of 10 mils on each side and click it shut. Easy. It's time to unveil the Civic with its full carbon fiber front end. It is beautiful. Let's go check it out. So here we have the PiyesaHub OEM replacement carbon fiber guards. Now these have saved at least 1 kilo. One thing we didn't talk a lot about yesterday was the carbon fiber front lip. Now that is also much lighter. We didn't weigh this because the guys are just deciding whether or not they're going to do more of these. Comment below if you want a carbon fiber front lip. And then the piece de resistance is the bonnet. Check it out. Man, this thing, ignore my little nick mark there where I clearance the inside of the hood. I will fix that with some epoxy resin. But regardless, check out the finish and fitment of that. It looks absolutely beautiful in all lights. If you see it as you walk around, the whole thing like shape shifts. Looks incredible. Looks like I've just got a grey guard on the car and then shimmy, 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 carbon fiber. I am absolutely speechless. Now we're going to be working with PiyesaHub in the future. The plan is a full carbon fiber EK. Carbon fiber doors, carbon fiber front and rear, perspex glass in the back, and a carbon fiber roof skin. The guys do all of those. So if you have a time attack vehicle, EK, DC2, DC5, EG, ED, whatever it is that you have and you want to do a lightweight build, PiyesaHub has you covered. Bonnet guards, lip, roof skin, which is very important and hard to get here in Australia. The guys are bringing those roof skins in. We're going to chuck one on this. Doors, now that's sedan and hatch. So I have a sedan, obviously. You guys mostly have hatches. So for all the hatch builds, coupe builds, EJ8, DC2, DC5, they have all the stuff there. We're going to go with a carbon boot, roof and doors. I'm going to take out so much weight out of this thing. It's going to be an absolute monster, and you're going to be able to see why this is going such a lightweight track focused build in a future episode, because we're going to get stuck into some engine mod. Let's just take a minute, fat beats, and enjoy the carbon Fibre. That's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and spool up, because we are bringing a crazy build for 2024 on my EK sedan. This thing is going to be weapon fast, but in a little bit of a different way. Stay tuned to find out what that means. And hit up the link below, PiyesaHub, grab all your carbon goodies.